AI will eventually replace nearly all human labor. I think we're all aware that there is like, I call it a corporate state, but there's like a technocratic multinational elite that sort of view like the peasants as an inconvenience to them. And the only real leverage that the average person has is that the collective labor of the peasants is still necessary for the economy to run. But what happens when it's not necessary anymore? And there's really no justifiable reason for the overlords to allow all of these people to go on, breathing and exhaling carbon dioxide.
The implication of this is that we should maintain our slave status because at least they need us then, and they won't completely exterminate us.
It's not ideal. Obviously, I'm not saying we live in utopia now, but it is the only leverage that keeps them from exterminating the whole human race.
Well, I don't think that's the only leverage. I think individuals are actually pretty powerful. I think that throughout history, you've seen, when people tried to do terrible things, a lot of them got their heads chopped off or ended up with magnificent downfalls. Are the bad guys always punished? No, but a lot of times they end up, blowing their brains out or being torn apart by a mob. So I think that individuals are more powerful, but more importantly than that, I think that technological progress, automation, is a really important way to free up people's time. So, if you have an overlord who controls all of the labor on Earth and they no longer need that labor, so they kill all their laborers, I understand that would be a concern, but I don't think that's the way the world works, especially today. I think that individuals have the power to own the means of production, to have to use the technology to their own advantage. And with that power means that when our time is freed up, when our labor is freed up, it's not for the overlord, it's for ourselves. And so then we can do more productive things or more enjoyable things with our time. So if you could have an automated farm outside that provides everything you ever needed for you, what are you going to do with your time? That's more of a philosophical question. But in the past, not having to work a factory line or not having to work, 12 hours a day in the field has led to ages of enlightenment and creativity and more human progress, a higher standard of living. I see AI replacing human jobs as the exact same thing. Now, the only part that is different is that it's going to replace some jobs that people like to do. Because I think that's where people draw the line, is they go, well, but what about artists? Artists enjoy being artists. So if AI replaces them, that's a problem. Is AI that generative? Like, can it go beyond what is put into it? Or is it all basically limited by programming? So once you put the inputs in, sure, it can mix them around and it can give you things that sound like it's creating stuff, but it's all based on what it's consumed. So you end up, I think the biggest scenario, or the biggest fear wouldn't be that it replaces and goes beyond human creativity. It would be that it stems human creativity and never goes beyond 2023 because everybody is just depending on this endless loop of AI that's just feeding off of itself and not actually gaining anything else.